1998 was always going to be a big year for the town of Enniscorthy in County Wexford. The memory of the people's forebears who stood proudly for liberty on Vinegar Hill remained strong. They hadn't forgotten that the French had sailed to Ireland in support of the 1798 rebellion, though too few and too late. But now the French would return. The biggest annual sporting event in the world, the Tour de France, had chosen Enniscorthy to host its second stage start on Monday, July 13th. This is the story of how a normally quiet, laid-back town experienced its busiest month in 200 years. For cycling enthusiast Eddie Tobin, being a key organiser for the tour coming to town was a labour of love. With fellow Slaney Cycling Club members Niall McCarthy and Larry Kinsella, Eddie checks out the route of the race in an appropriate manner.
Now we're at the official start now. This is where it all started. So, 10 o'clock on Monday the 13th. I would like to be here, but this is my official start. There you go. That's nice and easy so far. Now we're outside the castle. About to head down towards the house. And now coming to the old mill, which will be very scenic because of the road, the angles of the road, and the twists here. So photographically this will be brilliant here. Now we're still in the neutralised section. And we're nearly all back together again, which we're meant to be in the neutralised section.
What happens here, Eddie?
You get a transplant at this stage. Oh, it's a tough drive. You mightn't think that, but once everyone is registered in and okay, you will pass under the banner at just here at Jamestown, and then away to go to Cork. Oh, I haven't raced for 11 years now. Since I gave it up. You get on fit very quickly, I can tell you that. But Dermot Dignan, watch out. FBD was last time coming back. I don't think.
Enniscorthy has improved tremendously over the period of the years that I've been here.
That's everything really, as it can.
Nice, quiet, pleasant. In the summer, but in the winter, dull and dreary like everywhere else. As far as what we've done and all the people we've met, everything's been great.
Enniscorthy is daily, yeah.
Busy with the Christy.
I've been here 21 years and I never leave it.
Oh, go on, honestly, are you worried about it?
Yeah, if you call waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning thinking about it, worried about it, yes, but you know, that happens now and again. So I'm looking forward to it more than worried about it.
Did you find out anything about the water field?
Yeah, I've got contacts for the tanker. I'll know for definite when I get back.
Eamon Hoare, an engineer with Wexford County Council, has a lot of ground to cover in getting everything right for the arrival of the French.
Every single tour vehicle comes in this way. Some of them turn off into Belfield, some of them go down to the Fairgreen area, and some of them take a right up Patrick Street down the Ross Road. This is where all the technical vehicles set up, all the team buses set up here, the field podium, as I said before, is on this junction here where they introduce all the riders over a period of maybe an hour. The medical centre is also set up here.
At its weekly meeting, the Slaney Cycling Club has a packed agenda.
Over the next few weeks, I think it's going to be vital to publicise the events that we're hosting. There's the Miss Tour de France, there's the Cycle Stage 2 from Enniscorthy to Cork, there's the Black and White Gallon Ball in Tracy's, there's the Mini Tour de France for 3 to 6 year olds.
Oh, let's go on.
But for the moment, the rest of the town seems more interested in Ronaldo than Cipollini or Cantani.
French television, we're going to film for 2 days before the race. They're not interested in anywhere else other than Dublin start and Enniscorthy start.
Look, it's a great display of colour after erupting in the town over the last couple of days, you know. And all our own flags and banners will be in place before Vinegar Hill Day. Obviously, that's a combination of Wexford colours, French colours, and United Irishman colours. So the whole thing will be in place for the full 4 weeks before the tour. So certainly, I think it's beginning to impact, you know.
The 21st June comes first. We have plans ahead. That'll be tremendous day. Starting here at the quarter to 12 on Sunday morning, and culminating with the fireworks display on Vinegar Hill at 11 o'clock that night, with a parade of 3,500 people, including 1,200-1,300 pikemen.
And a green flag flags the valley, green flags and songs of peace. But will the song of the future be a story sadly told? In the red camp they're taking old survivors. The redcoats are polishing their guns. The man said, we'll crush this first republic on the Queen. On the Queen. On the Queen. On the Queen. It's late that evening, the battle is over. We can't see the town for the flames. Half our people are fled, and many lie dead, despairing we wander.
As the 21st of June arrived, the commemoration of the Battle of Vinegar Hill would bring pikes rather than bikes onto the streets. All over Ireland and as far away as Australia, the pride of the pike men, women and children was shared by the tens of thousands who lined the route. It was a long march up, and welcome refreshments were supplied by the residents of Shannon Hill, while Anthony Cronin recited a new poem in honour of the heroes of '98.
Too soon the Slaney's waves were stayed, the barrow carried its cargoes seawards from New Ross to cold, wide waters where no sail appeared. Their columns heaving now, frantic households, not heroes, merely people, but the pikes their hedge and shelter in the broken weather. Here on this hill they stood, where we assembled, a civic gathering in a different time. History, a nightmare from which all mankind must learn to awake, recedes at last, and our normality accommodates the dream of liberty, equality, for which they have to blend the normal day, to take the lives of others, give their own. What seemed so distant then, to us mundane, we should recall the price they had to pay. And brothers, neighbors, from far and near, and far working
Tour de France office in Enniscorthy. It's the regional tour office for the southeastern region, and we're coordinating the whole race from here. It involves arranging the manpower, telecommunications, road closing orders, catering for our members, and looking after the whole thing in general.
We'll be looking for a lot of cooperation from the people. We got that cooperation on the 21st of June when we had about 35,000 people here for Vinegar Hill Day. So the people are well used to it at this stage, and they play their part as well.
We've had excellent cooperation from all agencies and the general public as well. We're working with the community all the time. We depend on the community really.
These maps that we use for the tour have all been produced by our staff down in County Hall, the road staff. At this stage we probably run off hundreds because the Gardaí use them, civil defence, all the emergency services. Some have gone to France for tour people themselves, and a lot have gone out to corporate people to show them how to get from Scotland. So we produce quite a number of maps.
All along the route from Enniscorthy to New Ross, Wexford County Council had men and machines busy eradicating the dreaded potholes. Planned road improvements for the coming years were brought forward, with nearly £1 million being spent in the run-up to the tour. The UDC building was fast becoming a second home to the local technical committee, who had much to discuss with Michael Bennett, technical manager for the tour's Irish organiser, L'événement.
It's encouraging for us to come to a smaller place like Enniscorthy, not only because it's stooped in the tradition and the history that it has, which is quite unique, but also that you're dealing with, in a light-hearted way, although still in a very detailed way, with the local people as well. And they have this lovely flavour with them, this Irish flavour that they're bringing to the event. What we've already requested from you is a list of accredited persons that you require to be working on the day. We're still waiting for that list. You're 3 or 4 days behind in producing that list for us.
What we use is to access all areas.
Access all areas.
Yes.
You let us have as comprehensive a list as you can.
I put more than I need.
And then we'll liaise with you via telephone, and we'll go through the list with you via telephone.
Okay. This is work.
And we'll get there. But we are desperate for that list now.
Bring up the Bongo, the one that's left from Sunday. No, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Present life with them.
Is that slate?
That's Bongo. It's said thousands of years old. Russian blood, like I said, we give one of these a friend breeder, right? And 2 or 3 others to get rid of it.
Well, Jean-Marie Leblanc would love that. He'd love that sort of thing. I mean, even walking down the steps of the town hall, we were saying to one another, now I don't feel as if we've covered everything there because we went off our sort of set agenda, if you like.
That's what is like. That's the point. You know, Eddie Merckx, whereas if you had, who's the king in that group? Eddie Merckx. I need your help and guidance because you put the taking order on what you give me.
It's one big committee, it's like one big happy family, all wanting to bring this joyous occasion to their town for the day. And that reflects throughout the whole of the meeting. There's that element of fun.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
The annual Strawberry Fair is usually the high point of the year in Enniscorthy, and even with so much else happening, 1998's fair was as successful as ever, an excuse for people to frolic in the river or dance in the streets.
beginning of September, we were standing at the station, waiting for a train. There was priests and Christian brothers, there was nuns and reverend mothers, there was guys and drunks and others, and everyone was just the same. Whether they came from Enniscorthy, from New Ross and Firth and Gorey, there was buses from Bunclody, there was horses, carts and all. And as they stepped out on the platform, there was shouting and a screaming. And as they carried Larry Murphy, he was 25 feet tall.
Do you like strawberries?
Love them. Love them. Actually, I have eaten so many strawberries this week, I'm actually looking a bit bigger than I usually do.
We're doing all right there.
And we were dancing at the crossroads, in the shadow of a bonfire, underneath the silver moonlight. We were singing until dawn. Yeah, we were dancing at the crossroads, with the punching and the porter, dancing jigs and racing polkas, until the early morn.
I'm delighted to announce that the Strawberry Queen comes from very near this town and is Aoife O'Connor.
Blessed with the fine weather, locals and visitors, young and old, partook of more than strawberries and cream in the late night air.
60 yards, we were dancing at the crossroads, in the shadow of a bonfire, underneath the silver moonlight. We were singing until dawn. Yeah, we were dancing at the crossroads, with the punching and the porter, dancing jigs and reels and polkas, until the early morn. Yeah.
At the UDC, Town Clerk Donald Minnick seemed unfazed by the challenge of the weeks ahead.
Enniscorthy is one of the smallest urban areas in the country. But we do a good job. You've seen the town. The town is, well, looks well, keep it well. We'll show our image to the world with the Tour of France. I'm the guy who basically keeps the train going. I'm like a stranger, right? I end up with having the jobs to do this. When councils make decisions and meetings, somebody has to pull the thing along. And that's my job. So the Tour of France will let's bring exposure to what, 950 million people have never heard of Enniscorthy, but now know it's there. And we want to show the image that how attractive it is, and what a nice place to visit. Come on your holidays and spend your hard-earned shillings in the town.
Okay.
So we have
And the saying, back to start 10-4.